welcome to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about our three fictional dinner guests, our fictional characters.
Yes.
That we'd invite to dinner if we could.
Yes.
And if they were real people.
Yes.
So, yes.
We're going to live in our fictional world.
We're living in our fictional world today. Just for you people. This is all for your entertainment.
Yes, because our other dinner party guests episode went over so well.
Yeah, everybody loved it.
I'm kidding. I have no idea.
Yeah, they did. It was rave reviews. We even won an Oscar for it. We just didn't turn up. There was just a picture of you there, and someone had to accept it on our behalf. Mark Ruffalo.
You know, we had so much fun doing that episode that we decided to do fictional characters. Which three fictional characters would we invite to dinner?
Yes.
And I thought of my first two almost instantly.
Yeah, I have my three.
And I had my third one took a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was trying to think of somebody who would kind of go with the first two and not just someone totally random.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't have a really random party.
Mine's kind of a random party.
Okay,
my third one was kind of like, I was like debating between two fictional characters.
Uh-huh.
Because they're the same sort of fictional character, but I was like, which one would I want? And then I started thinking about, actually, portrayals are important too. So I added the portrayal in too,
the person who was portraying.
Yeah, the actor or actress who was portraying them.
Okay,
So,
yeah. Because I've seen this done before, and a lot of the times they limit it to just people from literature.
Yeah.
Where our fictional characters are going to possibly be from television. Again, we did not talk
Mine
about this
are from
beforehand.
film and television.
And that's mostly why I'm excited to do this, because Dominic and I have not had this discussion previously.
No, we haven't. We weren't even talking about it.
So I'm curious to see. I was like all excited to tell him who my three were, and then I was like, no, we have to wait for the podcast.
No. The big reveal will come now.
So I think we should let you go first with your people, since I went first with the real life people.
Yeah.
The living or dead people. If you guys haven't heard that podcast, it was just, I don't know.
A couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah. A week ago. Week and a half ago.
Yeah. Week and a half ago, I think it was.
So, yeah.
So mine are, my first one I'd invite is James Bond.
Oh, gee. I couldn't guess. No, I guessed your three, so...
No, you didn't guess
I guessed your three, so I'm going to see if I'm right. But yeah, I guessed James Bond.
Okay, you guessed my three.
What would James Bond bring to the dinner party?
James Bond would bring class, elegance, and he'd also talk about things. He'd be great at talking about... I think I'd like to ask him, about his missions and stuff like that. If he could talk about it. He probably couldn't talk about them because he's a secret agent.
Now, would you bring a particular James
Sean
Bond?
Connery's.
Okay.
You probably thought I was going to say Timothy Dalton, didn't you?
No, I didn't really think that far, actually.
No, Sean
I just
Connery.
thought James Bond.
The original portrayal, Sean Connery's portrayal of him, so it would be Sean Connery turning up.
Okay, I'd have Sean Connery over to the house, sure.
Yeah. Sean Connery as he appeared in 1962.
In the white dinner jacket.
Well, and that was in Goldfinger, but
okay,
yeah. Well, whatever,
That's the one that's coming to dinner,
that's
okay?
The one. In the white dinner jacket with the little red carnation or
and he has to say, Bond, James Bond.
Yeah, I'll be like, okay, can you just say it for my wife? Just say Bond, James Bond.
No, we'll have someone checking the list at the door, and it's like, okay, and who are you, and he'll have to say Bond,
that's
James
what he'll say.
Bond.
He'll do all his hits. He'll do the shaken, not stirred for the martini.
Yes.
Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. Yeah,
yes.
He'll have all that, and he'll talk about... but that's the thing. I mean, if it's Sean Connery's portrayal, would it be all his entire career? His entire film, and even his literary career as well. In the books as well, because I mean, if you take all that into account, there's a lot more books than there have been movies.
What would he talk about? All of that, you mean, or what do you mean? I
think I'd want him to talk about some of them, and just kind of like have an evening talking about. Oh yeah. the time I was with Pusha Galore. And,
oh my god.
And, yes, and, just talking, just telling things, because, I mean, and you just go, oh, well, why wouldn't you just get Sean Connery in You're Living or Dead? But no. I want James Bond to talk about the time he was in Live and Let Die and, all that.
He wouldn't know he was in Live and Let Die.
Yes, I would tell him. I'd say, remember that film Live and Let Die that you were in? And the book? And he'd be like, yeah, she didn't call it that, though. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think he'd be an interesting guest. He's a secret agent.
Again, I'm going to say
MI6, he's got secrets. He's charming. He's suave. Again, he's refined.
I'm going to say that anybody that comes to your dinner party is also, I mean, it's a joint dinner party, so, because we're married.
Oh, yeah, you're invoking
so I
that
get to,
now,
So
yeah?
I get to talk to your guests, and you can talk to my guests.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
So
okay.
and our guests will intermingle.
Well, yeah, they'll talk to each other.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Well, my second one.
Yeah.
Actually, that's an idea. See if you can guess who my second one is, because I haven't got it up here. So
okay.
See if you can guess.
I said your guests were going to be James Bond, and then Sherlock Holmes. But should I just go ahead and say all three?
Yeah, you can say all.
Okay, I said, I'm sorry, James Bond, Sherlock Holmes. Oh no, I forgot who I thought the third one would be. And I said Jean-Luc Picard.
You got 2 out of 3 there. 2 out of 3. James Bond, and my second would be Jean-Luc Picard. Captain or Admiral or retired as he is now in the Picard show. Obviously Patrick Stewart portrayal.
Yeah.
And, I'd just like to ask him about, things and talk to him about the world of Star Trek and how he's living in it and how he's liking the 20th,
is he gonna
the 20th century. Well, it's going to be...
Is he going to be current Jean-Luc Picard, or
I
is
think
he going to
so,
be the next generation Jean-Luc Picard?
That is the next generation. I mean...
but I mean, is he going to be younger, or is he going to be, like, his age now?
I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing, If you have, like, a long-lived character that's been on screen for a long... would you like... it's like, going back to James Bond, would it be, like, the Daniel Craig character, or would it be...
you chose the Sean Connery one, so it would just be...
I think it would be the maybe the next generation era. Mm-hmm. Picard,
So that Picard's not going to know about what's happening to him.
Maybe not.
Now.
But maybe, yeah.
That could be an awkward conversation.
Yeah, this is like... I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe I'd like it as he is now,
Yeah. Otherwise, you'd have to avoid spoilers for his life.
Spoilers for his life, yeah. Spoilers. Like in Doctor Who.
Now, what made you choose...
Well, that would be a good... Doctor Who.
I saw people saying that.
Yeah.
I looked it up because I was just curious.
But which Doctor would you like to have?
Yeah. If I was going to choose the Doctor, which I did not, we haven't gotten to mine yet.
Yeah, this is just hypothetical.
If I was going to choose the Doctor, because I did think about the Doctor. If I was going to choose the Doctor, mine would be David Tennant as the Doctor.
Yeah, I figured you'd like David Tennant.
Yeah.
I don't know who mine would be, actually.
Which Doctor you'd choose?
Yeah.
William Hartnell would be a good one.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he was pretty interesting as Patrick Troughton. John Pertwee, I think. I think I'd like John Pertwee as Doctor.
I like Chris Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston.
Christopher Eccleston. Yeah.
Everybody forgets about him because he only did one series.
Yeah, he was a good Doctor. He was a yeah.
But yeah, Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek: The Next Generation. If you don't know who that is, I mean, he's back on TV now. He's on a web series called Star Trek Picard, which is picking up his life.
Yeah.
18 years later after Nemesis. So yeah, I think I'd like that Picard.
Yeah.
Over the next
He'd have
generation.
more to talk about.
He'd have more to talk about. He's got his career and everything. It would be good. It would be interesting to talk to him about Dixon Hill.
We could find out what's happened in the 20 years that he hasn't been on the next generation.
On the Enterprise.
On the Enterprise,
yeah. And we could talk about Riker and Geordi.
Yeah. Dixon Hill was his holograph.
That was the literary character he'd probably have to his dinner party, Dixon Hill. And speaking of...
Didn't he have a holograph program now?
Holographic program, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He used to go in and pretend he was Dixon. And the thing is, that's the best thing about Star Trek is like they're living out their fantasies in that little holodeck, you know.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's like, oh, I wish I had one of them, you know, because I mean the obvious versions and all that. But there's like, oh, there's so many characters I'd create, and you know, like.
No,
you could live your James Bond life in there.
They could
like
have
Julian Bashir did it.
They could have this actual dinner party, couldn't they?
They could.
Know?
Well, then they have on. We talked about it on Star Trek. You know, they did. You know, like Captain Janeway did Leonardo da Vinci, and Data did Albert Einstein, and Sir Isaac Newton, and Stephen Hawking, and I think there was someone else, but maybe not. My third dinner guest. That, you know,
I got this wrong. I thought for sure it was going to be Sherlock
Holmes. I was deliberating
Holmes.
between Sherlock Holmes and...
I thought it was going to be Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock.
Yeah, no, I thought about him. If I could have a fourth guest, I'd definitely have him and this one.
Yeah.
It's Hercule Poirot.
Oh, okay.
David Suchet's
version.
And if I could have a fourth guest, I'd definitely have Benedict Cumberbatch, because I'd love to see them talk.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of like a Marvel movie crossover they should do things.
I saw people saying that their fictional character dinner guests would be Miss Marple,
Hercule Poirot,
Sherlock Holmes. No, there was
all murder mystery things.
There was somebody else too, and they said, and they'd like there to be a murder committed, so to see which one could solve it first.
Well, they'd all join. That would be so funny. I think that's what that Knives Out is, isn't it? Oh, maybe not. With Daniel Craig, it's like a murder mystery comedy. Yeah. You know, like you know, there's a murder and it's a whodunit.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that would be a great kind of like movie right there. You know, Hercule Poirot, Sherlock Holmes, Miss Marple, Columbo. You know, all those kind of like detectives.
You've heard all these ideas that we come up with. Now, if any of these actually happen, we want some kind of credit. Okay,
yeah, we want some kind of credit. You know, if we don't want the money, we just want the fame. Just like on Real Housewives.
We don't want the fame. We just want the money. Actually,
well, we could do with the money too.
So tell me, why did you choose Poirot over?
Because
Sherlock Holmes?
I think he's so interesting in like the way he is. I mean, with Benedict
Sherlock
Cumberbatch,
Holmes did heroin.
Well, yeah, I know, but Hercule Poirot is like OCD.
Yeah,
and he's very like, you know, the little grey cells, and you know, he's just very like, you know, he's more suited to a dinner party than Sherlock, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean,
he's always invited to them.
He's always invited to like go stay at Lord Belfont's house. And, you know, oh, someone's been murdered. Oh, Hercule Poirot. It's okay, we'll go wake up Hercule and see what's going on here. Detective Poirot, you know. Yeah, but he's definitely someone I'd like, you know, to, like, see how he intermingles with Jean-Luc Picard and James Bond. And
So you have a British spy, the
French
captain of a starship, and
a Belgian detective.
Yeah. Is he I guess he's considered a private detective?
He's a private detective, yeah. I mean, he gets paid for his...
Because he doesn't work for the police or anything, Okay, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't think about Poirot at all, but yeah.
Poirot, but if I, as I said, as a fourth guest, I'd probably tack on Sherlock there, just to see how they get along, if they didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that's that's who I like. That's who I'd like.
I like it.
So now over to you.
Just like in the real life people, living or dead, that we chose. My first one came to me like that. I mean, like, no questions asked. Straight away, my number one dinner party guest. Who do you think it is?
Okay.
Actually, okay, yeah. Do you have three people in mind, or any at all?
I have one.
Okay.
And I think it's this one.
Okay.
Harry Potter.
No.
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 That was very like, yes, congratulations, you got it. I think it was Harry Potter.
No, because it's so close. That's why. Dumbledore.
Dumbledore
is my main man. Who needs Harry when you can invite Dumbledore?
Harry Potter, he's the chosen one.
Dumbledore is the strongest wizard, like, ever, though.
He'd probably like coming to a dinner party, too, actually.
Dumbledore?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You could serve him, like, crazy things, and he'd like...
Thank you for your invitation. But mine would be Richard Harris as Dumbledore.
Yes, Richard
not
Harris
Michael Gambon.
portraying.
I like Michael Gambon, but... You know.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people were just kind of like, you know, because apparently Richard Harris's family thought Peter O'Toole should be Dumbledore after he died, but I guess the producers just went for Michael Gambon. I guess because they wanted a little bit more of a wahey waho.
Yeah.
And he was more like, oh, yes. Because in the movies, you know, Dumbledore was... you know, a bit more active, you know, in the later ones.
Yeah, but reading the books, Richard Harris,
because he's got the long white hair. Because he's got the long white hair, the long beard, and he looks all old, and he's got the half moon spectacles.
And he just sounded so wise, and he talked like this, and he was just so hairy. You know, it was just
Harry.
like...
Yes, Harry. Yeah, with Michael Gambon, he did not want to, like, do a portrayal of
Michael
Richard
Gambon
Harris.
was great, but in my mind, when I'm reading the books, like Richard Harris, they could not have cast him better.
Yeah, no, his granddaughter, funnily enough, said, you know, he said, oh, I'm not going to do that. Yeah. He didn't want to do it. He's like, oh, that's kid stuff. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You know. And his granddaughter said, I'm never going to speak to you again. And so that's why he did it. You know,
to be fair to Michael Gambon, like, it's not like they replaced Richard Harris with him,
no.
They,
and I don't think they would have. Had he lived.
No.
He would have done it for the full 6 movies or
you know,
7 movies.
Even continuing on, reading the books, and this is going to be a spoiler for anybody who has not read all the Harry Potter books yet, but wants to, when he dies...
Dumbledore dies.
What? When he dies, or, you know, when he died, and I was reading, I was thinking about Richard Harris as Dumbledore, and I'm just there, like, sobbing through the last 2 or 3 chapters of that book. It's just like, oh, no, Dumbledore. Yeah, so, Dumbledore. And it's funny because I think he's my, like, Da Vinci equivalent in the fictional world.
Mm. Yeah, it's because he's so wise, and he's like, oh, yes.
I was looking at a lot of people's, discussions and stuff on different forums and everything, and it's really surprising how many people chose Gandalf. And I was thinking, oh, no, as far as wizards go, I'd have Dumbledore any day over Gandalf. I don't know why, but Dumbledore's just... I just love him. I just want him to be a real person so bad.
I mean, if you could change out, you can have Jean-Luc Picard and Gandalf, and it's Sir Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart together, so there you go. You know, that would be a good... But they'd have to be in character all the time, darling.
Yes. But yeah, so my first one's Dumbledore. Dumbledore. Yeah. I just thought Harry's too young, you know. He's had some interesting experiences, but I think Dumbledore's had more. And, you know, there's all that backstory of Dumbledore's life, like his father killed muggles, and
it's got a bit of a past.
Yeah, so I need to know about. I need to know what's up with all of that.
Yes, you need to find out, don't you?
Yeah.
Fictional. Your next one.
This one didn't come to me as easily as Dumbledore, obviously, but once I thought about it for a second.
It's going to be Carrie Bradshaw, isn't it?
Oh my god. No.
Lisa Vanderpump.
She's not fictional.
Yes, she is. Jax Taylor.
Oh my god. Can you imagine? James Bond and Dumbledore and Jean-Luc Picard, and then we have Jax Taylor.
James Kennedy.
Oh my god, yes! James Kennedy could be the DJ.
Not about the pasta.
James Kennedy could be the DJ. Oh my god. If you guys don't watch Vanderpump Rules, what are you doing with your lives?
Something productive. That's what they're doing with their lives.
No, my number 2, Game of Thrones, I'll give you that hint.
Daenerys.
No!
Who?
Tyrion.
Oh, Tyrion.
Tyrion Lannister.
Yes, Tyrion would be a good... Yeah.
Oh, God, he would be such
I think I'd invite Daenerys. actually.
Yeah, I mean, she would be good. I love her, but...
Yeah, I'd just be like, why did you go crazy? What was all that about?
Yeah, what happened there? That was a bit weird.
It was a bit weird, wasn't it? Why did you go crazy and burn everything? Yeah.
Yes. Again, spoiler alert.
Yeah. I mean, we should have spoiler alert. She burned everything down, including the whole thing.
No, Tyrion would be so good. And with Dumbledore, I think they would get along perfectly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think they've got the right kind of like fictional fantasy
Tyrion would be giving
magic.
Tyrion would be giving Dumbledore more and more glasses of wine, you know, and they
Dumbledore would be talking.
They'd just be coming out with all these stories and
of their magical kingdoms.
Tyrion would be really disappointed that there are no women at this dinner party, though.
That's why I was going to invite Daenerys. He loves Daenerys.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Now, my third person, I did have a really difficult time with, but like I said, I was taking this discussion very seriously, and I was trying to find people who would go together at a dinner party. So I could have chosen several other people, but I chose my last person based on who's in this kind of fantasy, magical, mystical, crazy world.
I know who it is.
Who is it?
It's the Hulk, isn't it?
No! The Hulk doesn't go with Tyrion and Dumbledore.
He's like, Hulk smash! And Dumbledore's like, yes, Hulk smash.
No, when you
Hulk smash.
Hulk smash. Yes,
Hulk smash. Yeah, I mean, him and Dumbledore would get on so well. Can you imagine Dumbledore doing the whole bit? You know, it's like the sun is getting real low, and you know he turns into Bruce Banner. Then. Hulk.
The sun is getting very low.
Very low. It's getting real low, like Thor. Thor's like, sun's getting real low. So why do you keep saying that?
I did think about Thor for half a second, just because you mentioned him in my...
Thor!
When we talked about doing this podcast...
I am Thor, son of Odin.
You said you're going to invite Thor, aren't you? And I thought, I would actually like to have Thor.
How dare you attack? How dare you invite the son of Odin to a dinner party?
But no. My third one I went for... So I have Dumbledore, who's old and wise and full of stories, and... You know, he can give me information that I desperately need to know. And then I have Tyrion for, like...
I desperately need to know.
Who also has seen some stuff, you know, and would make for some good conversations. And he likes to tell a story. And he's very quick-witted. So I went further along that line. Someone who's not necessarily quick-witted, but just humorous and entertaining. Does not exist in books, actually. It only exists on film. And that person is Captain Jack Sparrow.
Oh.
Yes! He would go so well at this dinner party.
Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
Yes. So, yeah, Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah, you've got quite a mix at your thing. Yeah.
Mine is a very mystical, magical dinner party.
Yeah, mystical, magical.
I've got
Pirates
a wizard.
You've got a pirate.
I've got a wizard.
Yeah. And you've got
I guess he's kind of like a prince.
Prince Tyrion.
Right? I mean, he's sort of like...
yeah, well, I guess he's not
I don't know what you would technically call him, because
you've got a wizard, you've got a pirate, and you've got a Lannister.
Yeah. You never go to dinner party needs a Lannister. The Lannisters send their regards.
Send their regards. The Lannisters always pay their debts.
No, but you know, I really wanted to invite Holly Golightly because I thought that would be a fun dinner party, but she didn't really go with Dumbledore and Tyrion to me, and I had to have those two.
Yeah, she'd just be talking about
smoking. She's fun. But you know, she might have gone with them. Actually, she would go with James Bond definitely.
Why?
Because they're just like, because she's a woman and James Bond is a pig. That's why.
How dare you say that about my lovely James Bond, my James.
I definitely thought about her. I definitely did think about the Mother of Dragons also. Because she would have been cool. But I was like, I need someone like a little bit more light. I mean, Tyrion's quite funny, but I thought Captain Jack Sparrow will just have us all rolling. He'll just have us in, in stitches.
He tell us all his stories from his movies.
Yeah, and they're all gonna have stories, aren't they? They're all like, you know, they all have some crazy stories to share with each other. Maybe
it'll be an awkward dinner party.
Nobody's talking.
Nobody's talking. Everybody's just like,
they all like a drink.
They all like a drink.
Yeah.
Picard could get drunk too, you know.
Oh, yeah, your people do. Oh, I don't know about Poirot. I don't know about Dumbledore either, actually.
Dumbledore
Dumbledore likes to go to the pub sometimes. Yeah.
He does. He likes to.
He goes to the Three Broomsticks, doesn't he?
Yeah. He doesn't do it as often as he'd like, but, you know.
Poirot, I'm not sure. I think I can see him with a cocktail here and there.
Yeah, he has a cocktail. But, I mean, he likes to keep his head clear just in case any of them get murdered. You know, since, you know.
I thought some other backups were like Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock, definitely.
Yeah.
That would be fun because he's
one of my backups too.
He's so crazy, you know.
I mean, there's a disturbing lack of women at this party too.
I know.
Yeah, you're not being very diverse here.
I hate that.
Unlike the Oscars last night, who were going for diversity. No women at all. I mean, if you could invite anyone, I'd probably invite. I don't know.
Lucy from I Love Lucy. She'd be fun at a party.
Lucy, yeah.
She'd be causing some hijinks.
Get Black Widow in there from Marvel.
Yeah.
Universe. She'd be causing some hijinks.
Yeah. Wonder Woman. She's cool.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's cool.
I'm trying to think, like, Hermione. No, I definitely wanted to invite Hermione, but I didn't want to have two people from the same franchise. I was like, Hermione is so smart.
Dumbledore and Hermione, they know each other, so yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, I can't invite Dumbledore and Hermione. No, I would have invited Hermione, but I had to have Dumbledore over Hermione. But she would have been my next choice from that. Yeah. From that franchise. I think she would be fun because she just knows everything, you know? Yeah. She'd be like correcting everyone at the table.
Wingardium Leviosa.
People would be telling stories and she'd be like, actually, that's not the way that happened.
Actually, that's not the way that happened.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. I mean, you can't have two people from the same franchise there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I completely guessed wrong on the ones that you were going to have, you know. I thought you were going to do Harry Potter
and you're just so predictable. I wasn't sure about Jean-Luc Picard, though, or... another person I thought of. Spock. But I was like, does Spock go more with Dumbledore and Tyrion, or does Captain Jack Sparrow? And I went with Captain Jack Sparrow.
Spock!
I love Spock.
Leonard Nimoy's portrayal.
Spock would go... Yeah, Leonard Nimoy as Spock. Spock would go with Hermione. That would be a good dinner party.
Yeah.
Spock and Hermione, and who else could be a third one at that party? Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock.
Yeah, that would actually be quite hilarious.
That would be a good
Fascinating.
Fascinating, yes.
I mean, they do this kind of stuff on Star Trek all the time, you know, time travel and, you know, meeting all these people and having dinner parties, surreal dinner parties or surreal meetings with historical figures, fictional or otherwise.
You know another person, or not person, that I thought? Pooh Bear. I want to have Pooh Bear at my dinner party.
You just have to have a lot of honey.
He would have just been so sweet. Everybody would just been like...
And Pooh and Dumbledore would have gone on well.
Probably.
Because Dumbledore's kind of got a Pooh-like vibe about him,
Dumbledore's very, like, sweet. And, like,
yeah. I mean, you know, like, he thinks of things. And
yeah.
He's like, I don't think that's right.
Dumbledore just sits around
just gonna have thinking. Small smackerel of something sweet. You know, and he's just like... I wasn't going to eat it, I was just going to taste it.
Yeah, so Spock, Hermione, Holly Golightly, Pooh Bear, those were all ones that I had to really
go no. Bear.
This is only three. There's only three characters. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we could have lots more in the fictional world. Yes. We don't care about real people, we just want the fictional people. Pooh Bear and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it, though. Yeah. Let us know who
your three fictional characters would be. We'll put up a story asking.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell us.
Yes. Because I'm always interested. It's a fun conversation.
It is, yeah. Because I mean, those are the only three I can kind of think of right now, and the fourth. But I've got a load of other people I'd probably want, but they're all from kind of like the same franchise, or whatever. If that's a rule, you can have two people from the same franchise.
I don't think it is a rule, but yeah, because like scrolling through some people's discussions, I saw people that were like, "Well, I'd have Harry, Ron, and Hermione."
It's just like, yeah, that's just you just want your Harry Potter.
You're just inserting yourself into that story, then, aren't you? It's like, that's not going to be interesting. You already know what happens when those three people get together. Yeah. Yeah. But, yeah. Maybe we'll do more of these types of things, like, what three... I don't know. Whatever. Yeah.
These types of things.
Yeah, like...
What 3 foods would you serve? Who would you serve it to, and who wouldn't you?
Where would we have this dinner party?
Yes. Where would we have this dinner party?
I would have my dinner party with Dumbledore, Tyrion, and Captain Jack Sparrow. I think it would have to be, like, either somewhere very... snowy, but Captain Jack Sparrow would be like, what is this? Because he's used to islands.
Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah. I can picture it though, like in Switzerland, like in the mountains somewhere, really snowy.
That's a very Bond villainly lair,
Yeah. Either that or like
Blofeld.
Either that or maybe like Bali.
either Switzerland or Bali,
I can see Tyrion like there, but maybe not Dumbledore, so that's a bit difficult.
I think I'd have our dinner party at Blickling Hall.
Which is where?
It's in Norwich.
What?
It's in Norwich. It's not in Norwich. It's in Norfolk, I think. I think it's in Norfolk anyway. It's I'm
disinviting James Bond from your dinner party, and I'm going to instead invite Alan Partridge.
Yes, Blickling Hall. And it was the red rope and the plastic fruit everywhere. Dumbledore would love it. No, it's the place you have a dinner party. It's like one of those grand houses that Henry VIII built or whatever. Yeah,
we've run that topic right into the ground.
We have.
Let us know who you would pick, and as always, thank you so much for listening.
Yes, it's been a pleasure.
Tuning in, coming back week after week. Even
day
if you don't, even if day after day, whatever. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.